Hi, aloha students. As you guys jump into your project number one, I just wanted to make sure that everyone is aware of the correct two websites that you're going to be referencing throughout the semester, um, already starting with assignment number two and for project number one. So there's two websites that I shared from the beginning of the semester. The first one, which I have open right now, is the Human Interface Guidelines. And this is specifically the components. So before Apple sort of redid this, they named all these, they kind of grouped everything as elements, and now they've moved towards components. So you'll see anywhere that in the assignments where you see UI elements, that's referring to UI components. I'm using those terms interchangeably in the semester. So just know if you see UI elements, it means UI components. And the next website is Pttrns, and I'll go over that in a second. But what I want you guys to take away from here is that when you go to this web page, you want to make sure that you're on the iOS and iPad components. Okay, so you already have that filtered out. And if you open up all these different sections, content, layout, menu and actions, navigation and search, these are the specific terms that I want to see you use in all of your assignment and project work. So I don't want to see you use the term images. It's called an image view. So if you click on image view, it'll give you information about image views. If you go to text view, it'll give you information about text views. So don't say text box, don't say text. I want you to use the proper terminology, which is text views. So let's head on over to collections. So this is the collections or collection view. You can just use this exact terminology here. And I know in the video, it mentions like what are views and what are controls. So I just want to clarify that menus and actions, these are controls. Navigation and search, these are controls. And let's take a look at system inputs. These are controls as well. But for the assignments, I'm not going to list out UI views and UI controls. I'm just going to list them out as UI components. So whatever is on the user interface, I just want you to identify using the correct terminology what it is, whether it's an edit menu or it's a text field. I want you guys to get used to using the correct terminology. Let me know if you have any questions about this. I'm going to head over to Pttrns. So once again, Pttrns they're sort of like pre-developed mobile design patterns for certain types of screens. So here, the pattern, notice that I'm in UX pattern. So you are not even going to bother with UI elements. So do not use anything from UI elements. I want all the UI elements or UI components, you have to refer to the human interface guidelines. So when you're using Pttrns, the only thing you're going to be using Pttrns for is for UX patterns, okay? What's the other name that I use in class? Mobile design patterns, UX patterns, same thing. So we're going to go here to storefront. So there's different there's different categories. There's communication, there's content, there's creation, there's data, there's media, there's onboarding, and then there's purchase. But the pattern right? The UX pattern that I'm specifically looking at is storefront. So when you're designing your prototype, right? This is towards the ending of the semester. You're going to be like essentially checking out how the components are laid out for the storefront pattern. And you're going to build your user interfaces starting off with these patterns. And eventually, when you get comfortable, you can sort of uniquely design or adapt some of these patterns to your liking, or you can adapt it to your user. So just remember that these patterns, these UX patterns, these mobile design patterns are a starting point. This is sort of like industry standard visual designs for certain types of user interfaces. So I want you guys to just get really comfortable with looking at referring to these two websites to help you move forward with all your coursework in the semester. If this is still not making sense to you, please sign up to meet with me during my office hours, and I'm happy to clarify. But just to repeat, we use the human interface guidelines to understand what components, right? What components, what UI elements make up the entire pattern, right? The entire pattern. So here, obviously, I've got some image views because I have images that are on the screen, and images, right? Images sit in the image view. So image view is going to be under content. Okay? So if I were to look at the storefront pattern, if I'm looking at this one in particular, one of the UI components I would list is an image view. Okay? Once again, let me know if you have any other questions. Otherwise, good luck with all your work this semester. Aloha.